Well, alright, let's talk about Will Levis, who has gotten some extra red zone time for the wrong reasons these past couple of weeks, but I wanted to dive into the film and really talk about how he's playing, because obviously there's the horrible plays, I'm sure you've seen them already, but we will go over the one he had in this game as well in this video. But just in general, I want to talk about what do we make of Levis? How do we view him as a player as of right now? Because there are some good plays you see from him as well. He's not just a mess out there. It's just the bad is really bad. So let's get into the entire picture. I think this play is actually a really important play to showcase when talking about Levis. He makes some very good playmaking style plays when he's out there. Like, absolutely, he does things that other players just don't do. I guess that can go both ways, but I mean in like a positive way. He does things that a lot of other players don't do. This one's a cover 3 zone, and watch what Levis is going to do on this one. He takes snap, he looks down the field, and is going to start to scramble, but you see right there, 81 for Tennessee is getting covered by a Jets defender. But this Jets defender now has a choice. Does he step up and tackle Will Levis, or does he stay back and cover the guy he's covering? He's going to say, you know what, Will Levis, someone who can make a mistake if I pressure him, let's pressure him. The second the defender steps up, Levis spots it, hits the receiver, and they're able to pick up a first down on that one on a 2nd down and 11. This is good stuff from Levis. You see why people like him, why he's a starter in the NFL, why he was drafted in the 2nd round and many thought should have been drafted in the 1st round. A play like this, another good example, where it's again going to be a zone coverage concept, and it's going to be a relatively similar play, but slightly different. Levis takes the snap, he's going to run a play action, first looks towards the bottom of the screen, but doesn't love what he sees, that's not really open. So instead, he quickly goes to his next read, once again, his trusty number 81 right here, which is Josh Wiley, by the way. Weil, spelled W-H-Y-L-E. But either way, our guy Josh isn't really open here either. He looks open, but there's a Jets defender just off screen, so that's not really an option either. On top of this, now there's a Jets defensive lineman ready to come in and tackle Levis. So Levis is in trouble. What is he going to do? Watch him get outside this pressure, and he scrambles up and picks up a first down and then some. Again, a lot of guys would have, I think, slid a lot earlier than he did, but a good job to pick up as many yards as possible and still not take an unnecessary hit and, move the sticks on a 3rd down and 1. This is good stuff from Levis. And I would also argue he makes some really good passes. I mean, something like this, where it's not the craziest play you'll see, just one of those over-the-middle routes against zone coverage. Although, you see the route on the screen, there's a different route that's also kind of in that direction, just sooner to hopefully clear it out a little. Watch, Levis takes the snap, the tight end goes first, and then the receiver. You see there is a window right here. Like I said, not wide open, but also not the craziest play you'll see. However, Levis is able to hit it, and you see these types of plays, and you're like, man, how is this guy not like just, a really good quarterback? Maybe not a superstar, but like, these are good plays. Of course, this one was one that, made red zone for the right reasons, but even this, I think, is a good example of just showing Levis as a player. What he does, for better or worse, this is who he is. It's a zone coverage concept, and you have Calvin Ridley running a deep shot, which should be a one-on-one matchup as there's only a single safety deep, but the safety is definitely shading over in that direction because it's Calvin Ridley. He's a good receiver. Levis is going to take the snap. He looks in Ridley's direction and probably stares it down a bit too much. Also puts a ton of air under that ball, which gives the safety an opportunity to run over and try and make this play. This is Levis throwing in the double coverage, putting too much air under the ball, and also throwing for a touchdown right here. Really, a great job by Ridley to track that ball. No one else was able to. But this is part of what Will Levis does. This is part of, his philosophy, is he's going to take chances. And the game, the math equation, essentially, is the positives going to outweigh the negatives? Because as good as this stuff is, then you have this stuff, which is a concept where usually the way this works is you have a receiver running a deep route just to try and push defensive backs further deep. Usually you don't want to leave someone one-on-one that far down the field, so multiple defenders will go in that direction, which can help clear out the more over-the-middle route. However, when this play begins, the over-the-middle route is covered, and so Levis says, well, let's throw it deep. Even though it's double coverage, let's take this chance. Again, this is part of what Levis does. However, this one gets intercepted. That's a bad play by Will Levis. And again, this is 1st down and 10, and the Titans are up 7 points midway through the second quarter. Jets haven't gotten anything going offensively, and you're essentially just giving them a possession. It's a bad decision by Will Levis, but he's not going to stop doing this because this is who he is. I think the question is going to be, can he just start hitting on these more? Can he start making these plays, good plays happen more to make the balance kind of go in the correct direction for the Titans? That's what Josh Allen did. He still makes a ton of decisions that you would say are terrible decisions if most quarterbacks made them, but he hits on a good amount of them, so you kind of forgive it. For Levis, he just isn't hitting on as much, and then they look really stupid. But also, some of these plays he just has to stop making. Like, that's pretty much that simple. And of course, I'm going to talk about this play, which is just a horrible play. I mean, again, game situation. The Titans are up 7 points right here. A chance to at least go up double digits, but potentially even go up, they want to go up 14, right? It is 3rd down and goal, so there is that to factor in. But you look at this situation, and it's going to be essentially a pick play towards the top of the screen against zone coverage. Levis is going to take the snap, and he doesn't love this option, which I kind of get. I mean, you could make this throw, but it's probably not going to go for a touchdown. And to be honest, there's enough contact here. I think if he throws it, it's probably a flag. So with the pick play. So to me, I don't hate the decision to not throw it here, especially when you have a clear running lane right here. I mean, if he steps forward, rushes, and then, I don't know, there's a few Jets in the area, but maybe he says this is worth taking a hit and tries to get into the end zone. Okay, sure. But he's going to basically trip over an already fallen down Jets defender at this point, so that doesn't work out. And then he looks over and sees his running back, and this is just, again, we can sit here and say what a dumb decision, but he's not making a decision here. He's falling over sideways. He's just acting. This is all instinct, but this is a very bad instinct to have. Watch him lateral it backwards and almost roll it like a bowling ball over to Spears, who cannot quite pick it up. And Spears probably could have just fallen on that one, but it was still, he wasn't ready for the ball. It's hard to blame him too much for that. Levis just can't be making this decision. And the dumbest thing about this is, even if it was caught by Spears, even if you made the lateral, you're losing yards on this play. He would have been tackled immediately. There's no logic other than just not wanting to admit that a play is dead. And that just can't happen for Will Levis. So, again, I kind of bring up the math equation, right? You're trying to get more positive plays than negative plays. Have the positive plays outweigh the negative plays. And for someone like Will Levis, at this point in his career, early on, there's too many negative plays and not enough positive plays. There's some positive plays, but there isn't so much positive plays to outweigh the negatives. And you have to figure out how you're going to fix it. Are you going to try to get more positives, or are you going to try to get less negatives? And it feels like, well, everyone says, oh, he just has to get these bad plays out of his system. He's a young guy. A lot of times, young players that make a bunch of these bad decisions continue to make these bad decisions. You can help it a little, but for the most part, with the exception of Peyton Manning, I can't really think of a guy who had a huge turnover-worthy play rate early on in his career and then was better after that. It's very rare. So they're just going to have to work on getting the turnover-worthy play rate as down as it can, and hope you get more positive plays to make it offset right now, because the Titans are a good team. He just needs to start playing better. That's what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.